He opened his mouth to speak, and that's when he saw who had taken his place, and what he had truly lost. The divorce papers were still warm from the printer. I slid them across the table like an afterthought. He looked up, confused. He always was a little slow. "I don't understand," he said, brow furrowed, jaw tightening, like he thought this was a fight he could win. That made two of us. I watched him fumble for words, watching me like I was a stranger. Maybe I was, or maybe I was just no longer the woman he thought he could betray and walk away from untouched. "You were stuck in traffic," I said calmly, "while I was split open on a hospital bed, alone, bleeding your daughter into this world." He didn't answer. He couldn't, because he knew what was coming next. I turned the tablet toward him, his GPS history. The hotel. The 3 hours and 17 minutes. Not even an effort to lie convincingly. "You missed her first breath," I whispered, voice tight, low. "To screw my sister." Back then, he said all the right things, laughed like he meant it, held me like I was his gravity. We met at a university mixer. He was studying law, I was finishing pre-med. He said he admired my ambition. I admired his control. My sister, Eva, was younger, softer, brighter, the kind of light people mistake for warmth when it's really just hunger for attention. He used to say we were opposites, that he loved how I grounded him. He said I made him feel safe. He never told me that safe was boring. The signs were small at first. Her perfume lingering in his car, though they hadn't run into each other in weeks. The way her eyes darted when I mentioned his name. His sudden shift in cologne. The way his phone never left his hand, not even in the shower. I kept quiet. That's what people never expect. Quiet women. They confuse silence for surrender. Then the message came. A screenshot sent from an anonymous number. Eva's bare shoulder. His wedding band on the nightstand behind her. He said nothing when I showed him, just stared, slack-jawed. The silence between us that night could have buried a body. But I didn't scream, didn't cry. I smiled, because now it was my turn. I planned it while breastfeeding. Every sleepless night, every feeding, every diaper change, I built it. While he slept in the guest room, pretending it was just for space, I was memorizing his passwords, accessing his accounts, pulling strings, setting traps. He thought he was clever, shifting assets. Didn't realize I had been the one who convinced him to sign the prenup. Didn't realize it favored me. Didn't know I'd become power of attorney for Eva after she overdosed last year, thanks to him, and I never relinquished it. She was vulnerable, easy to manipulate. He had no idea how deep the roots of guilt could grow. I sold her car, liquidated her trust, used her name to rent the hotel room where they met. So when I handed my lawyer the GPS logs, the credit card records, and the medical records showing Eva was unfit for trial or custody, the judge didn't just award me full custody of our daughter. He ordered him to pay everything. The house, the accounts, the college fund, even Eva's rehab, though she'd never step foot in it. She didn't need help. She needed a mirror. Now we were here, at the dining table of what used to be his house. The baby monitor glowed beside me. Our daughter, asleep upstairs, never knowing the man downstairs was once her father. "He deserves to know the truth," he said finally. I leaned forward, my voice as cold as the steel in my spine. "She will. When she's old enough to understand why her father missed her birth, why he walked out, why someone else walked in." His eyebrows lifted. That's when the front door opened. Footsteps, heavy, familiar. He turned toward the sound, and his face broke, because standing there wasn't a stranger. It was my ex-boyfriend, the one he'd smugly told me to get over, the man who had once proposed, and I said no. Not because I didn't love him, but because I hadn't known my worth yet. Turns out he waited. He still wanted a family, and now he had one. "Hey," my ex said, brushing a kiss to my temple. "Baby still asleep?" I nodded. My husband, no, the man sitting across from me, finally understood. Who had taken his place? Who tucked his daughter in at night? Who'd been on the emergency contact forms for the last 6 months? His hands clenched. "This is insane." "No," I said, standing. "This is justice." Later, as I stood in the doorway and watched him leave with the weight of his own consequences on his back, I felt nothing. Not regret, not pity, only air. Clean, sharp, necessary. They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but I disagree. Mine was served alive, breathing, laughing, and calling another man daddy.